Hi, I'm Selena from Equestrian Confidence. I've had a lot of people asking me, well, what are your programs, in particular your 4-week programs, which are all done on the phone, and how do they work? Coaching for just the rider is very new in the equestrian world. I mean, most of us will acknowledge and can accept that we put a lot of money into being with our horse and that kind of coaching, into our tack and our gear, into our horses. Who else calls the vet before they call a doctor for themselves? Yeah. Oh, my horse looks a bit lame, quickly get the vet. I've just broken my arm. I'll just put a bandage on it. I'll be right for the next one. I think most of us can fairly say that goes on. So one of the missings then, if we look at the scenario, is actually the rider and our mindset. We all know where we're at affects our horse. We look at other people and we can see instantly, what would make a difference to them riding and to what they want to achieve. Simply by them having a change of how they're thinking, or if they just had more confidence, or if they just, sat taller. But when you're in fear, holding your shoulders back, no, when you're scared, you just want to hunch down and that tension goes straight through. So we've all seen it. So what I specialise in is just the rider and where you're at. And when you change what's missing there and add that ingredient that you can see so easily in other people, but not sure how to get for yourself, when that's added into the mix, then you can get the results that your coach has probably been trying so hard with you to get. And many of us ride better when we're with our coaches, because the coach gives us that confidence. They let us know, you're doing great, he's looking great, okay, you can push him now. And we trust our coach to know that it's going to be okay, they're reading the horse. But then all of a sudden the coach isn't around and we're on our own, and it's just like that little not trusting ourselves or second guessing ourselves. Oh, is he feeling this? Oh, is that, And, well, it's kind of predictable how that goes. And then we just add that to the list of evidence we've got for, why you're not connected with the horse, etc. So 4 weeks. People go, well, how in 4 weeks can you change something, so ingrained, or that I've felt for quite a while, or since an accident? I can't take away that accident, or since having children. Well, actually, I get a lot of results in 1 week. So let's talk about what's involved in the actual program. In the actual program, you get a pre-questionnaire. Straight away, you're getting really clear about what it is you want, and actually really going for it as well. But getting the clarity, real clarity around what it is and how to get there. You'll probably answer yourself some questions for yourself right then and there. Then we have weekly phone calls, and they're roughly an hour, normally not more. The first week, maybe a little bit more. Now, as well as that, I'll ask you to send me texts either once or twice a day. But really, whatever there is to do besides that will be probably about 5 minutes a day at the most. You will come up with actions for yourself that you might want to take that will take longer than that, but they'll be actions that you take on. There's no homework per se in the work I do. So it's like having an experience. Like in that moment, something changes. And this is why it's so difficult to explain what development coaching is and rider mindset coaching is, because when that change occurs, or when you see a different perspective or get that different point of view for yourself, it just makes so much sense to be the new way. You just kind of do it. So it's very difficult to explain. I do invite you to call me if you'd like to have a conversation and say, look, am I being realistic with what I want in 4 weeks? And I'll be straight with you. It doesn't look good for me if I promise you the world and I don't deliver. So I'm not going to do that. But quite often what we think we want is a symptom and not a cause anyway. Or we're settling because we don't believe we can have what we really want. So I invite you to call me, start there. And what's the program? What am I asking you to commit to? Firstly, to be coachable. And being coachable means being willing to look outside of the square. Now, all coaching's done on the phone. I can't make you do anything. I certainly don't want to. I'm not going to tell you how to ride. I'm not going to tell you how to do anything. It's only what you discover for yourself that's going to make any difference anyway. And I want that long-term, forever success for you, or for that forever breakthrough that makes a difference, because that ultimately is what's going to have you, tell your friends anyway, or not, but that's what's going to make the difference. And that's what I'm committed to. So if this sounds like something that you're a little bit curious about at all, and, I invite you, just pick up the phone and call me. That action alone, even if you don't take the coaching, because there's no obligation, even if you do nothing else, something in your mind is going to say, this is really important to them, that they picked up the phone, they took an action, and they're actually investigating, and they're looking at ways that they can get this confidence to get out there and ride their best, and to feel free on their horse, and to have fun and be happy again. Or just be happy full stop. That's an action that says, wow, they're serious about this passion for horses. So that's a free action. I invite you to take it. But whether I hear from you or not, live your passion. Find your journey that works for you. Find someone that's going to give you whatever that missing is for you. Because you wouldn't have watched this long if there wasn't one. Have fun and be happy with your horses. Thank you.